Starting from the first scene, a car is seen going somewhere. In the car, a couple sits calmly. The next scene is in their house, where a man named Michael asks his wife named Joanna if she's ready. They seem to be in a hurry to reach a party. While his wife is getting dressed, Michael starts eating and watching TV. After this, they hire a taxi and are ready to go to the party. On their way, they seem very happy with each other. Joe is in a very joyful mood. Soon they reach the party, and there is great hustle and bustle, with everyone enjoying wine. Michael leaves Joe with her friends and says he'll see her in an hour, then goes away to talk to another woman. At the party, there's another man named Stuart. He also seems to be interested in Laura. Laura is Michael's colleague. Joe is with her boyfriend Andy. He is an employee in Michael's company. He told her that Michael hates him. He's going to fire him. She satisfied him by saying that it has not been in the last 2 years. Andy goes to talk to another person while Joe is in search of her husband. At that moment, she noticed him with an attractive girl, Laura. Michael is in a very happy mood with Laura, which disturbed Joe. Laura is his colleague. Then they moved and come to Joe. Andy also came and joined them. Michael introduced Laura to Joe. After some time, Michael is with Laura and Joe is with Andy. Andy gave a cigarette to Joe as she is tense. Andy is telling her about Laura. He told her Stuart recruited her. She's working the Monroe Project with us. Joe asked, is she going to Philadelphia with you guys tomorrow? And was she in LA with Michael last month? Andy nodded his head. While returning home, her mood is off. Michael asked, have I done something wrong? Joe asked about Laura. She said you didn't tell me she was in LA with you. She likes you and you like her. But Michael did not accept this. He said, you can check my phone, emails, and receipts. Go on. She's not satisfied by this and said not everyone gets caught, Michael. Michael replied, I haven't done anything wrong, and you're trying to pick a fight. She did not accept any reason and went to sleep on the couch. It was raining outside. He comes to her and requests her to sleep in bed. He says, I love you. Please come to the kitchen. He turns on the lights of the kitchen and starts to cook some food. Joe also came here and joins him. Now they both are in a happy mood and discussing their next routine. As he is going to Philadelphia tomorrow, he said, you can work on the book without me here to distract you. After eating eggs, they are going to bed and have calm sleep. When she wakes up, Michael is in the bathroom. She writes something on a piece of paper and puts it in Michael's coat. After having breakfast, he hugs her and says goodbye. After doing household activities, she goes to a coffee shop and orders a cup of coffee. When she comes out of the shop with her coffee, a man named Alex stops her and says hello. Joe is surprised to see him and asks how long he will be in New York for. I leave tomorrow, he replied. I will call you later. Now Michael is with Laura and waiting for Andy. When Andy arrives, he joins them. Michael goes to reception and asks for the check-in details. Meanwhile, Joe is preparing herself to meet Alex. She dresses up well and puts on makeup and goes to a bar to meet him. They sit together, and Alex orders 2 vodka martinis with olives. It has been 2 years since they last met, so they catch up on each other's lives. Joe asks about Alex's work and his book. He replied that he's finished writing his book. She's happy to hear this and wants to read it, but he tells her that the book is written in French. The translation is almost finished, so she will be able to read it soon. He asks about Joe's routine, and she replies that she's doing mainly freelance fashion work. During this, Michael is having dinner with his business partner and colleagues and discussing business matters. After some time, he asks her to go to his room. She's surprised to hear this. He starts laughing and says, I'm just kidding. He informs her that he's having dinner with the man who bought the Permission House and who's in France. He asks her to go with him for dinner, but she refuses as it is his work dinner. However, he insists and she agrees. Now Alex and Joe are in a hotel having dinner. Alex's friends named Sandra and Truman come to join them. During dinner, Truman asks them how they know each other. Joe tells him that in Paris, she was writing a story and a mutual friend had a dinner. Here we met about 4 years ago. They are having dinner in a very good mood while Joe's friend Maggie comes and asks her about Michael. She tells her he was out of town. Truman asks who Michael is, and then she tells him Michael is her husband. At the same time, Michael is also having dinner with Laura. After having dinner, they go outside for a walk. During the walk, Laura asks, tell me about your wife. He tells her that they met 3 years before, and his wife was very good. She asks what Joe does when he's out of town. The same thing she does when he's in town, he replied. But Laura's not satisfied by this answer and said he should call her. After this, he tells her that he's going to the men's room and will see her in the bar. When he called his wife Jo and asked her what she's doing right now, she did not tell him the truth. He seems to be a little disheartened. After this, he goes to a bar with Laura. Laura wants to arouse him to have sex with her, but as he is a married man and doesn't want to have any relation with Laura, he declines. Truman told Jo about Alex's ex-girlfriend Helen from Paris. He also asked about her husband and where he is now. She told him that he's in Philadelphia on a business trip. He asked, "Does your husband know about Alex?" She replied, "No, he doesn't know about Alex." After dinner, Alex and Jo went together in a taxi to Andy's house. They entered the room and Jo also brought some food for Andy's dog Lucy, while Alex wandered around and looked at photos of Michael with Jo and Andy. Then he asked, "When did you stop writing?" She replied, "My editor says that I just need to get over my doubts." Alex asked, "What do you doubt?" She replied, "I doubt every single one I make." He told her that doubts will kill her work. Jo told Alex that they were just getting to know each other and realized that they were not right for each other. She reminded him that she came to Paris for 2 months and asked if he held that against her. But he replied, "I don't hold anything against you. I was finishing a book. Now I am the one who has to see you here. I am the one who has to look around Andy's. Was I what you needed to be sure of, Michael?" Jo told Alex that she's going to take Lucy out for a walk. After some time, Alex comes out to join her. When Jo asked him for the door keys, he realized that he had left them inside the house. Now the door is locked and there's no way to open it, so they decided to go to the bar with Lucy. At the bar, Alex went to Truman's side, while Sandra asked Jo to come with her to find Fred. Alex and Truman discussed Andy's dog in a very happy mood. Truman told Alex that at Philip's wedding, after you had just broken up with Lauren, I liked Lauren. But I like Jo more because she's smart, funny, honest, and gorgeous. Besides the fact that she's out with you and her husband is out of town, she is married. Alex replied, "Yes, I know this." Truman wanted to make him realize that he would never be able to take her away from her husband. Now Laura and Michael are going to the swimming pool, where Michael takes off his coat and Laura checks the water temperature. After this, she takes off her gown and enters the pool. She insists that he goes into the water. She's not going to be the only one in her underwear. Now he's ready to enter the pool and she's very happy. He said, "We're here in our underwear. I think it's a bit late for that." At the same time, Jo is enjoying wine with Alex. After some time, they go to the top roof of the building. Jo asked Alex, "Do you remember that first night? Do you ever think about it?" "Of course I do," Alex replied. Jo said, "I do not want to go home, and you put me in a taxi." Soon they hugged each other and started dancing. After some time, she said, "Let's go." When they entered the lift, Alex started kissing her, and she also kissed him. Now in the room, Alex asked her, "Do you want to have a drink?" She replied, "No," and he went to the washroom. Alex enjoyed his drink while she was away. When she returned, she told Alex, "You would never guessed what I was upset about this morning. Michael had a work thing last night that he went to, and I was accusing him of being attracted to this woman he is working with." Alex asked, "Do you think there's something going on?" She told him that Michael's in Philadelphia with her right now. "Are you worried?" Alex asked. She replied, "I think I make too big a deal out of it because it's 2 a.m, and I am here with you." Jo asked, "Why did you stop emailing me?" They were both sitting on the sofa, and she put her leg onto his bosom. He started feeling her leg and foot. During their conversation, Alex wanted to have sex with her, but she stopped him as she is loyal to Michael. Alex said, "You just told me he's away with a woman you got upset about." She replied, "Michael is not doing anything." She stood up and went to the bed. She asked about Helen, but Alex didn't want to discuss Helen. He felt helpless and said, "We have another couple of hours. I don't want to spend them talking about Helen." Soon, he grabbed her. When Michael and Laura were in the swimming pool, Michael asked her about her ex-boyfriend. "Have you ever been cheated on?" "No," she replied. "He wanted to be with me, and I still wanted to be with him. We stayed together the best year of our relationship, and then he died." After this, she came out of the pool and wore her gown. When they returned to the room, Michael started kissing her, threw her on the bed, and had sex. Early in the morning, when Michael woke up, he found Laura sleeping. Soon, she also woke up, wore her clothes, and went to the washroom. He felt upset as what he's doing is wrong and he cheated on Jo. At the same time, Alex and Jo woke up. Jo asked what time it was. Alex told her it was 6:30. Lucy was also in their room. After packing, they came out of the hotel. Alex offered to drop her off, but she refused and said she would rather walk. Michael wanted to talk about the night's events, but Laura stopped him. Michael said, "I didn't think that would happen." Joe begged Alex, "Let's not do this in a big way, okay? Please." When she was ready to go, Alex held her and started kissing her. After a while, he hired a taxi and they left. Michael decided to go back to Joe. When Michael was packing his clothes, he noticed a piece of paper inside the pocket of his coat. The paper was from Joe, and she had written, "It's possible I overreacted. I know you and I love you, Joe." He came out of the hotel and called Andy, saying, "Hello, Andy, I need you to cover for me." When Joe returned home, she took off her coat and hung it up. She took off her shoes carelessly and went to the washroom. Laura was waiting for Michael when Andy arrived and told her that Michael had to go back to New York. She asked if everything was okay. He replied yes, and he left me a voicemail. She seemed a little disturbed. Now, Alex is at the airport watching photos and videos of Joe on his laptop. While coming back on the bus, Michael was lost in deep thought. Joe was smoking and weeping. When Michael reached home, Joe asked, "Why are you back?" Michael asked, "What is Lucy doing here?" Joe replied, "We got locked out of Andy's." Michael asked, "When did this happen?" She replied, "Last night when I went out for a walk." Joe ignored his question and asked, "What are you doing back? You have a presentation today." He replied, "We finished up early. I'm sorry about our fight." She told him, "Let's not talk about it, okay?" Michael offered her a great lunch and she agreed. At that time, Lucy barked. Michael supposed that she wanted to go outside. He said, "I will take her, come on." While they were going outside for lunch, Michael hugged Joe and said, "I love you." During this, he noticed her shoes carelessly left on the floor and understands why Lucy is barking. This is the end of the film. Please subscribe to our channel and also press the bell icon to get new notifications and watch new videos. Thank you.